And we are just going to go right out to the 12th Man Technology Video Hotline and check in with our QB1, former A&M and Dallas Cowboys quarterback, Stephen McGee. Stephen, a little birdie told me that you were going hunting, but I guess A, the bird's not alive anymore, and B, you're at home. So I don't know, what are you up to this morning?
Yeah, we spared the birdie for another week. So I'm in the office today, kindly. So yes, my trip got canceled last minute, and it's how it goes sometimes. We had life happen, so.
What were you going to shoot?
It's a good question, and I don't know.
Okay.
The point, we were definitely going to shoot. Let some freedom pops up in the air, which is always a good thing. Maybe not at animals per se, but targets and all that fun stuff.
All right.
Well, Stephen, it's December. A&M is still in the college football playoff conversation, and we know that the only ranking that actually matters is the one that comes out on December 20th, but it kind of seems like now that the committee is evaluating things differently than the talking heads at ESPN are evaluating things, and if you're an A&M fan, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's exciting just that A&M is in the conversation. I think that's often overlooked. We all want to get in the playoff run here in the top four, and there's scenarios out there that can very well happen. What are the odds that Notre Dame beats Clemson again with Trevor Lawrence healthy? I don't know, but it can happen. And last time they went out there and played, Notre Dame looked more than capable of beating them again.
Yeah, the problem with that is, number one, like you said, Trevor wasn't there. Number two, the game was in South Bend. Number three, I think Clemson had two, maybe three defensive starters out, and it went into overtime, and it still needed a prayer of a pass just to get it into overtime. I'm not confident. I'm going to be rooting for Notre Dame, which makes me feel like I need to take a shower, but
so true.
But I'm not confident that Notre Dame will beat Clemson.
I'm with you. I'm not confident. I think A&M's definitely on the outside looking in, trying to find their way into the playoffs, but there's still a chance. If we take a Dumb and Dumber line here, you're telling me there's a chance. Yes, I am.
And it's year 3 under Jimbo Fisher. This is exactly why you hired him in the first place. And he said on Feinbaum yesterday that he remembers when going to the Orange Bowl or going to the Cotton Bowl was a reward. And now it almost feels, in a way, like a disappointment, even though that's probably a really good way to end a pretty successful year.
Yeah, you're in the almost but not quite ship, if you will. There's so much emphasis on the 4 teams that get into the playoff. I'd love to see the playoff expanded to 8 teams. I think everybody would love to see that. And, hopefully in the not too distant future that will be an 18 playoff, and A&M would certainly be in that. So I don't know. Cotton Bowl is certainly good. I would love to go to the Orange Bowl, though, just biased. I think we've all played in the Cotton Bowl. I have nightmares of playing Tennessee there whenever I was a true freshman.
Yeah.
And
yeah, me too. I was there.
About that. Yeah, it was ugly. 11 a.m. It was just, they were a different caliber football team than we were. I know that. So Orange Bowl against, it's looking like it would be Miami. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That would be a good, I think that's a team that we could really get after too, and send a message going into next year.
And if anybody doesn't know, here's the way that works out. The Orange Bowl this year is replacing the Sugar Bowl, because the Sugar Bowl is a playoff bowl, as the bowl game that takes the top-rated SEC team that's not in the playoff. So that would be A&M. However, because of COVID and all the other issues, there has been some talk that they may go ahead and take Florida to play Miami, because there's not the travel issues, and then A&M would go to the Cotton Bowl to play either Oklahoma or Iowa State.
And unfortunately, LSU won't be there.
Well, they're taking that sacrifice and say, well, we'll just won't be in a bowl game this year, like they would anyway.
Exactly. Man, I would love I get that. I understand it's a crazy world, 2020. You get dealt a slight hand, but I would much rather be in the Orange Bowl against Miami than I would in the Cotton Bowl against Oklahoma.
I think that, first of all, A&M plays a lot of Big 12 teams in bowl games anyway.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're able to win, beating Miami top 10 team in the Orange Bowl just makes a bit bigger statement than as I said yesterday. Then if you go to the Cotton Bowl and if you beat Iowa State, the team that lost to Louisiana Lafayette, or Oklahoma, the team that lost to the team that lost to Louisiana Lafayette.
That's so true. I agree. 100% agree. It's a sexier win in the Orange Bowl. 100%.
So, Stephen, I want to get your take on the Big Ten changing its rules yesterday to cater to Ohio State, because now the Buckeyes will be facing Northwestern in the Big Ten championship, and that really cleared the path for them to potentially be represented in the college football playoff.
Well, that was my bullcrap of the week. Dalton and Richard in the Fishbowl were filling me in on that. I didn't even know it had happened, but the Big Ten's mishandling of the COVID thing has just been complete bullcrap. From 3 weeks of contact tracing, essentially putting Wisconsin on the sideline for it was almost 4 weeks in a row that they were at home, and then now changing the rules to allow the best team in. They've done an extremely poor job, in my opinion, of handling this situation. You compare that to the SEC. And it's been night and day. So, man, it's frustrating. It's the rules are what the rules are, and then you adjust them to fit, your team, Alabama of the SEC, let's say, and it just doesn't look good.
I mean, to me, it feels like we kind of have nobody to blame here but the leadership in the Big Ten, because it's their own fault that they're in the position that they're in. I feel like I have to constantly remind people that the Big Ten did not want football to happen in the first place. And then a month later, they did not even consult anybody. They just assumed that the rest of the leagues were going to follow, and then nobody did, and then they miraculously bring back football, and it's this huge deal, but they didn't even want it in the first place. Then they allowed no flexibility in their schedules, and so they really just made it difficult for their athletes and their coaches, and now they're fighting to be represented in the college football playoff, and they're changing their own rules. Personally, I'm shocked that they're not sticking to the rules that they came up with 2 months ago, but the reason is you can't say that a team that didn't do enough to go to its own conference championship did enough to earn a bid to the college football playoff.
It's a great point. I can't argue with that. That is why they did it. I'm with you 100%. It's bullcrap on a segment before it's supposed to be aired, but that's my bullcrap.
Stephen, you like money. You deal with money. If you were the Big Ten commissioner, knowing that Ohio State's the only team that could get into the playoff to make you money, would you change the rules?
Well, no, the rules are what the ruals are. You can't change rules to make more money.
Apparently you can.
You can, but you don't.
So
no. So the answer is pretty straight cut there. You never change or bend rules to make more money. That's the ultimate no.
McGee's a man of integrity.
There you go.
I would have changed them because I'm a man of no integrity.
Is A&M not A&M LSU? Is A&M Ohio State something that you would have wanted to see happen this 100, weekend?
100%. A&M Ohio State, A&M Cincinnati. I don't care who. They would have been amazing. Who was it? Houston that had 3 or 4 games that got canceled in a row. We had the whole Baylor saga, and they were jumping around looking for an opponent there. But again, Big Ten fiasco here of them not allowing any non-conference slated games. I don't know. It's frustrating. I think everybody's got to be flexible in this year, COVID, scheduling, everything else. And so if I'm their conference and I have a team like Ohio State that's got 5 games, 6 games, whatever it is, and looking for more, man, it seems like it'd make a lot of sense to go find one of these other, non-conference opponents to get some wins on the board.
If I'm A&M and I'm Ross Bjork, and obviously it's way too late for this to happen, and Jimbo even addressed that yesterday, saying it was not going to happen because 3 days to prepare for a game like that against Ohio State with way too much on the line, just not going to happen. But I think if I'm A&M, I have Ross Bjork, the second that the Ole Miss game is canceled, tweet out at the Ohio State AD and say, hey, if you want to play, we're down to play, because then it kind of puts the pressure on them. At least you send the message to your fan base saying, hey, we're not scared.
Well, I think when the minute that was the Michigan game already canceled?
No. That's why it wasn't, because Bjork did say if there's a willing and worthy available opponent, and at that time it wasn't. But the second that it was available, I mean, why not? Because they already told Nebraska earlier in the year that non-conference wasn't an option, and then everybody kind of made a joke out of it, and now here we are.
Yep. I'm with you. I 100% agree. You put the onus on them, make it public, get everybody fired up about it. But I think there's a professionalism behind it as well. Those ADs know, this isn't realistic. Plus, it puts A&M in a tough position going into Tennessee, that final game, right? I mean, going on the road with a short week. If you schedule Ohio State, and let's say you play on a Monday, well, that's a short week. It puts you, kind of behind the 8 ball, if you will. And you would hate to lose to Ohio State and then go on the road with a short week and have another hiccup and lose to Tennessee and be a 3-loss football team.
Well, I know a lot of fans were definitely on the bandwagon, especially after the eyeball saga that happened yesterday with every single player tweeting the eyeball emoji. I just hope that I'm important enough one day to be able to tweet an emoji and send the whole entire Twitter sphere into an uproar.
Well, what do you think that was? Were they saying, hey, we're passing the eye test?
Yeah, my theory is that they were taking a shot at the eye test. But I don't know. I can't confirm that. Steven, anything?
They were trolling. They knew if they posted that, they would get the TexAgs message boards in a frenzy. So that's what they did.
And congratulations, it worked. It worked. On that note, let's take a quick timeout. We'll come back, and we've got That's Bullcrap on the other side. We've got a couple of things to hit on, so we'll take a break. This is TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.